the presentation to Sensei Sid Kelly to his Kudan 9th degree black belt. My name's Ken Durand. I'm the vice chair of the USJ Promotion Board, and I'll be facilitating everything today. So it's wonderful to have everyone here. We are going to start off with Pete Mantell, who is the president of the United States Judo Association. So Pete, go right ahead.
All right, what a great occasion. Welcome everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. Sid, sir, congratulations from the USGA Board of Directors and almost 5,000 members. You've reached a milestone in judo that very few can attain. Thank you so much for your loyalty to judo and for changing people's lives, to include mine. I deeply appreciate you teaching me Kelly's capers to improve skills, and wish I could have done more clinics to spread your brilliant approach to judo. I knew you were a gifted technician and coach when you showed up at the NJI, and we won't talk about when, back then, and taught some of your Wakigatami series. I remember being your uke because that was my job for Coach Porter at the time, and you fired me because I was probably not a smooth enough player for your skill. And although I was a little upset at the time, being a 23-year-old Shodan know-it-all, I quickly saw how great you were as a teacher and a technician, which inspired me greatly through the years. So again, Sid, sir, congratulations on earning that red belt, and we wish you all the best in the future. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Pete. Now, Sid Kelly started judo in 1957. That's a few years back, huh? He was instructed by Kenshiro Abe, who was a renowned technician, and he accompanied Sensei Abe when visiting dojos in France and Italy. Sid won Britain's first kata competition in Nagano kata. He was also a British international team competitor, and in 1965, he coached a European junior gold medalist. In 1967, Sid moved to the United States. For over 35 years, he was an instructor at the National YMCA camp in New York. He taught extensively clinics around the United States. He was a national referee. He developed many training programs, including a 3 VHS, and that shows how long ago that was, study on Wakigatami that Pete referred to. And I also personally picked up so much from that Wakigatami series, which is now on DVD. Sid was a gold medalist in 2003 at the World Masters Championships in Tokyo, Japan, winning all his matches by ippon. Sensei Kelly has produced many resources for judo, including the book Judo for Everyone, a program that's been mentioned called Kelly's Capers to introduce randori to beginners, and just so many other pieces of resources that he has touched people in the United States and around the world. It's a pleasure that we're going to be presenting him with this Kudan. Next, we're going to have Parker McCormick, who has worked with Sid and actually, I believe, was a uke and worked on a video. So Parker, we'll hear from you now, please.
So yeah, as Ken had said, I met Sid when I was roughly 19 years old at that New York judo camp. I was a brand new white belt at that time, and my partner and I, that was our very first judo event that we had ever attended. And it was really a special event getting to meet Sid there. It was during that time that Sid had approached my instructor, Jim Irvine, and asked if my partner and I would help him film some videos around his 5-step program. And so as part of this, Sid taught us the 5 steps, and eventually we moved on to filming for him. It was revelational, I guess you could say, for me at that time. I suffered from all of those typical faults of early judo practitioners, of fighting my partners and keeping everybody back with stiff arms. And it was very interesting to see this different approach that Sid was teaching. And it really helped me and my partner experience almost explosive growth during that time. And so getting to be one of the test dummies and getting to be one of the groups that helped Sid film all of these videos was extremely developmental for not only my partner and I, but eventually all of the other students at our club. It's something that we regularly teach, something that we impart to all of our students. And it's very interesting to see the generations between those that were taught those 5 steps and those that just missed it because of the timing, and seeing the growth that's helped develop all of these students throughout the years. The floating drills, by far, are some of my personal favorites. I can't tell you how long it's been since I've been thrown with a pone or ogoshi, just because of Sid's approach to floating around those techniques. It's a wonderful thing to see and experience. So like I said, we teach all of our students these things. They're continuing to grow and develop our students, and it's amazing to see the growth within them. So Sid, congratulations on your 9th Dan promotion. It's a wonderful thing. We wish you well.
Excellent. Thank you, Parker. Next, Connie Halpin, I do not believe is here, but she sent me 2 things that she asked if I would present. So one is a letter that she has written here, and I will read it. So this is Connie speaking. Connie Halpin has worked with Sid for years and years, especially at the training camps in New York, has used his programs. They've worked together and for many, many programs and years. So I met Sensei Kelly at the YMCA International Judo Camp about 30+ years ago. In those days, the instructors taught in the morning carousel for 5 days. The participants were separated into the following groups: black belts, brown belts, senior Q, and juniors. They moved from group to group so that all had the opportunity to get high-level instruction. Sensei Kelly's teaching was unique, as he had specific lesson plans for each group that built on each previous lesson. The toughest part often was when he would ask on Wednesday, "Remember what we did on Monday?" He had an analytical mind and brings his skill set as a mechanical engineer to the study of judo. In the days at judo camp, he was also able to demonstrate all the techniques with a quality of skill and speed that belayed his age. He would then slow down the skill and show it in a different direction so that us mortals could understand all the steps. He taught with a twinkle in his eye, with seriousness and a smile. His books, audiovisual materials, and commitment to the teaching and dissemination of judo across the country is truly extraordinary. It was my privilege and honor to be on the promotion board that recommended him for promotion. And Connie has asked me also to show a quick little video from her interesting recording studio at home. So I will show that now.
Hey, everybody. I'm really sorry we couldn't be here for the celebration for Sid, but Frank and I are at a wedding of his nephew right now. So I'm really sorry I'm making this video for you. The quiet place, sadly, as you can probably guess, was my bathroom, but I wanted to make sure that you could hear me. Sid, it has just been such a thrill to have been on the promotion committee and for you to get your promotion. As I've said to you time and time again, you're the most extraordinary judo instructor, sensei, and human being I've ever met. I've been thrilled to be your friend and your student for more years probably than either one of us wants to admit. And I just want to send you and Rita my very best love. And hopefully in the next year or so, we'll be able to celebrate in person. Congratulations again.
Excellent. So now, Walter Miller, also he worked with Sid in Connecticut. He's in Florida now. So Walter, it's yours now, please.
Congratulations, Sid, for the recognition for everything you've done for judo. I've known Sid for about 40 years now, I think. He's been a great friend, a great teacher. Have great memories. We used to have these judo Christmas parties at his house back in Woodbridge, Connecticut. He set up the first Friday practices for all the regional black belts. That was terrific. Going to Japan with Sheena Sensei's dojo, going to practice at UConn and Yale and all around the area. So great memories. We'd go to Sheena Sensei's dojo, and after practice go up to the Irish American Club, and Sid and I used to have to count each other's beers because every time you weren't paying attention, somebody would fill up your glass, and we had pretty good drive home, so we had to be careful. So eventually we made a pact to do that. But one of my favorite memories with Sid is we'd have lunch in various diners around the area, and we talk about everything over the years. But we talked a lot about the state of judo and in the United States, and the problem that there weren't enough participants. And Sid was always thinking about ways to improve the teaching so that you would keep people doing it. And he went through all kinds of things. But the most recent, I think the most important, was the 5 steps to Randori, which really solved a lot of the problems, I think, in that you don't have people doing Shiai type Randori and then everybody dropping out because none of the throws are working and only the most athletic and competitive people stick around. So great approach. We talked about it for years. It took a long time to develop, and Sid thought through it, and there were lots of iterations. But just to quicken it up, so about 8 years ago, when I retired, I became head coach at the University of Florida Judo Club, and I was able to put the 5 steps into effect, and it works great. I'm able to have a bunch of beginners at the same time at the start of the fall semester, so I'm able to kind of go through the 5 steps with them, and it works terrific for accomplishing that having the kind of Randori where people really learn from, and also it makes better players. People are better players. They're more fluid and wind up becoming better judokas as a result of it. So it's just worked out great, and that's all due to Sid. But yeah, I just want to thanks Sid for everything, and congratulations, and also congratulations to Rita, because I think it's a bit of a partnership. She's been a great supportive wife to him, and what a great person. She should get some kind of black belt, I think, too. So thanks very much. Thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you, Walter. Appreciate that. That's very nice. All right. Next, we have Sensei Jim Bregman. Sensei Bregman was a 1964 bronze medalist in the Olympics. He was a Pan Am and Maccabea Games gold medalist. He is a 10th Dan in judo. He is a US and world leader. He is just very much respected in the world of judo. So, Sensei Jim Bregman, please.
Well, Sid, we've known each other for a couple of months, and I want to congratulate you on being promoted to Kudan. In the executive corridors of the world, it is said that you can judge a leader by the people he has around him. In the judo world, I would say that you can judge a leader not only by everything he has accomplished, which we have gone through your career in pretty good detail, but I go back to the beginning, and you can judge the skill level of a judoka by the people who taught him. Now, often as young men and young ladies practicing judo, we don't realize what it means when a sensei selects you to be an uke or to participate in a demonstration. We just do because the sensei said, come on, I'd like to see you come out and help me out here. But senseis have a very keen eye for potential outstanding judoka. And one of the biggest tributes I think we can say about Sid's career was early, when the distinguished Sensei Abe asked Sid to tour Europe with him. Now, in England, there were dozens of highly competent judoka. But for Sensei Abe to ask Sid to be his touring companion, uke, and teaching partner tells you a lot about what one of the most prominent Japanese teachers in the world saw in young Sid Kelly. He had another teacher, Trevor Leggett. And for those of you who don't know much about the history of British judo, Trevor Leggett was fluent in Japanese, taught at the Budokai and the Renshiden, and he was a scholar of judo, but also of Japanese history and Japanese and world religions. So he also saw something in Sid, and he was one of Sid's teachers. Another one of Sid's instructors was a gentleman named George Kerr. So who on earth is George Kerr? Well, when I was in Japan, George Kerr was the gentleman who, as a yodan, would take 4 or 5 yodans and throw them for full points at the Kohaku Shiais. But in addition to that, George was a tremendous teacher and an inspiration to many of the younger crowd. Ultimately, George ended up in the position of president of the IJF. So with these 3 distinguished teachers paying special attention to a young man named Sid Kelly, they clearly saw a remarkable future. And today we honor Sid with the distinction of being awarded Kudan for all of his major contributions to so many young people throughout his entire career. He has paid it forward, he has honored his senseis, and he has made innumerable contributions to the development of American judo. And for that, we all thank you, Sid, very, very much. It's an honor to present you with your Kudan promotion.
Thank you very much, Sensei Bregman. And with that, we will do just that. So we're going to have Sid, and Bill Montgomery is with Sid at his home in Connecticut. And Bill has known Sid for many, many years. Bill Montgomery was a partner with Sensei Jim Bregman in younger years as an uke, and Bill also was the chair of the coach certification committee of the USJA. So Bill, to you, sir.
as I was saying, it's an honor today to present Sid Kelly with this red belt for achieving Kudan. I've known Sid for over 20 years. The first time I met him, I was proud to see him teach. He came over to me and asked us, being the impetuous young man I was, I said, yeah, what is it? He goes, are you chewing gum? And I went, no, I wasn't that chewing gum. That was my introduction to Sid. But I'm proud to be able to present this. I'm not tired, Don. I'm not chewing gum. That's okay. You can sit down.
Congratulations, Sensei. And if you do this right here, that is, you can applaud or you can applaud. There are a couple different ways to do that. So that
Yay.
Sid sees it. Yay, Sid.
Well done, Dad.
You're awesome.
Hi, Tom.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, Sensei Kelly, I believe you wanted to say something. So back to you, sir. So
Like Jim said, a lot of it goes back to my first teachers, and I really want to just, some of them aren't with me now, of course. I just want to thank them for what they did. But there was one that was missed out. I want to mention here. My very, very first instructor was a man, he's sitting down there third from the end, Jim Evans. Okay, I know you can't see the picture very well.
that's good.
This group here was very diverse. There's ladies, gentlemen, different ages and everything. And it was always a crowded mat, always. And then when I left there and went to other places, I noticed the mats weren't so crowded. And then I realized what it was. In this class here, we never did any randori. No randori. So we always had a full class. So that was a little interesting there. The other thing was, Jim mentioned Kenshiro Abe. This is Mr. Abe and myself and another gentleman there on Mr. Abe's 47th birthday in the British pub there, celebrating his birthday. And I had a couple of years with Mr. Leggett and 4 years with George Coe, who's now a 10th. So I was very, very, very fortunate to get that good basis there. And the other people I want to thank is George Passio. He's the person that recommended that I be Kudan. And one of the jobs that he had to do was get signatures from all over the country from different people. And it all had to be on one sheet. And he went through this process and he wanted one more signature to get. It was in California, Al Sharp. And his dog, his daughter's dog, chewed it all up. So George had to start all over again, getting all these signatures. So it was one of these lengthy things that went on forever and ever. But finally, it all went through. So thank you very much, George, for your recommendation. And I made a note here. I spoke to Rob Ryan a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't realize the amount of work that some people have been putting into it. And I want to thank you. I want to thank the promotion board and the board of directors for all the meetings and all the things they're doing to try and get this thing going. And a lot of people don't know about all the work they're doing. And I want to thank you very much for what you are doing. Even though I don't quite know what you are doing, but I know you're doing a lot of it. All right. So thank you very much, Ken, especially for setting this thing up. It was great. Okay. And thank everybody else for joining in and spending a few minutes. So I hope to see you on the mat sometime. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.